What's up YouTube? It's your boy Infinite Gains and we're back with the GME and AMC update video. Let's lock in. Happy New Year's guys. 2025 is going to be our year. 2024 was a hell of a year. Appreciate you guys supporting me, watching my stuff, and 2025 is going to be so much bigger. You have no idea. We're going to be getting these gains. So make sure you guys join the Discord. We're almost at 250 members. At like 250 or 300, I'm gonna close it, and we'll do like a little giveaway or something. And so make sure you guys join that. It'll be in the comments in the description. Make sure to check me out on X, on Twitter. I post like updates and stuff. Like this was the last update, and we tracked that pretty well. 3410 rejection, come back. So I just post different updates on there. So make sure to check that out. But yeah, man, let's make 2025 our year. Let's lock in. So we're going to be going over GME, AMC, kohrs, Curve Finance, Tilray, and MicroStrategy. So we're going to start with GME. So we got that 34.10 rejection. Well, it was actually at the very middle of this fair value gap, but we're coming back down now. Here's the deal. We tracked that fractal that I had mentioned here, right? From 2021. Now, we have that completion, right? We had the 34.10 rejection and had come back down. So that's completed. Now, the only problem is that we have a new yearly candle. A new yearly candle. It's kind of hard for me to believe that a yearly candle will have no lower wick. You know what I mean? Like a yearly candle will not have any wick, any down wick. I don't know. It kind of is a little bit suspicious, no? It's a little bit suspicious, no? That a yearly candle will have no down wick like this. Right? It's kind of sus. So something I was thinking about is, if we do have some kind of immediate downside on, Thursday or Friday, well, it could look something like this, right? Because on the 1 hour chart, we initially had gotten under that value area high at 31.43. I was thinking you could see something where you retest the 4 hour value area high at like 30.80 to 30.50. So you could come down to like 30.57 and then come back up, which would also be a retest of your 4 hour value area high at 30.80. So I could definitely see us double bottoming at around 30.80 to 30.57 on the 4 hour chart, and then having a continuation back to the upside. So another idea is that if that does happen, right? Something else that happened is that on the daily chart, you know how we talked about 34.10 being that initial rejection? Well, the value area high actually has now moved to 35.19. So 35.19 may be an additional point of resistance for us. If we do come back down, kind of hit that like 30.57 area, come back, preferably break the 35.19, come back for a retest, and have a continuation. I'm hoping, because it doesn't really make sense, because 35.19 is so close to our last high of 34.35 that it kind of makes sense for us to break 35.19 at first and then use it as support and before the final move to the upside. So this is kind of the idea I'm thinking about now, is kind of coming back down slightly to that kind of 30.50 to 30.80 zone, which is our 4 hour value area high, coming back up to break 35.19, using it as support, and then having a more sustained move to the upside. So that's something to think about, because kind of for me, it's kind of the same idea as the May move, where you break your point of control and you chop around, and you see here that like you get that initial rejection from your value area low, at around 1928, and then you literally gap up in the middle of it, in the middle of your volume range. So for me, it's like the main move was to get us in the volume range, and then this like MOAS occurs once we break out. And I'll show you this on the macro chart. Is that here we have GME chopped up into its weekly pin volume ranges. And you can really see the pattern here is that MOAS, so you either break down of your value area low or you break above it and you begin a new cycle with GME. And I'll show you here is, okay, we bounce off our value area low, which is our weekly value area low. We break our point of control, hit our value area high here, have a slight rejection. Once our value area high is broken, you literally have the MOAS move of 2021. Right? That's whenever the move occurs. Now, conversely, here, you get a rejection from your value area high, hit value area low, and that's your new volume range. Now, this is your new volume range. Now, what's happening is that you peak out of it to hit your weekly fair value gap, come back down to your value area low, come back, sneak out of it to hit your fair value gap, boom, back in the range, value area low broken, boom, new volume range, rejection, rejection, boom, new volume range, rejection, boom, new volume range. Whenever you break out of your value area low, you literally just come back down and you're trapped in the new volume range until you're able to finally break it, which happened in May because you come down, scoop this weekly fair value gap, which was created in the 2021 retrace. And that's literally what happened in the May move. Boom, hits the fair value gap from here on the weekly chart. And I'll show you something else. This is your value area low. This is your point of control. This is your value area high. Once this value area high was broken, guess what happened? Guess what happened, guys? You literally had the May move. That was your May move once that was broken. Now, what is happening again here? Once you got this rejection from this weekly fair value gap, which was previous resistance in August 2022 and March 2022, you come back down, slip below your value range, your value area low to hit this fair value gap, point of control rejection, boom, breaks point of control, gets a slight rejection at value area high, and now we're breaking out. And so we are beyond ready because this range here is the equivalent of this range pre-2021. Right, that's the equivalent range. And I know that there's a bunch of drawings on here. Let me remove all this so it's a little bit cleaner. But that is the equivalent of the 2021 breakout, which is why you can see that we are so close. Because we're already broken. We've already broken it. Look at this. We have literally already broken our weekly 2827 is our weekly value area high. But this volume range that we've been talking about is at that 3080 to 3090 mark, which is our 4-hour range. If we go here. So just look at that. We are on the cusp. We are on the cusp of a huge breakout, which is why I can see us, if we do come back to retest that range, the top of the range at like 3080 to 3057, and then we're able to break 3519, like we should be Gucci. Like the next level that we test, it should be this level here, which is previous weekly resistance that we've hit 3 times. Now, once this point is broken, this point here, this point is the equivalent of breaking this point here. Do you see now? Do you see how that's the same point? Breaking breaking this 47.82 to $50 is the same point as this point. And that's why whenever you peaked out in 2021, that's the point that you came right back down to. You came right back down to that $10 range. So that is literally the same point that we're battling. And we have this consolidation pattern is the equivalent of this consolidation pattern that we tracked on the daily chart here. That's the same pattern. So this is your weekly fair value gap, and that's your resistance. Now that flips support. So now literally what is next in the move is this candle here. This literally is what should happen. If we come back down to 30.80 to 30.50, break 35.19, the next move that you should see is this candle here to this fair value gap on the weekly chart, which is at $47 to $50. It should literally look like this. Let me get, where's that at? Why can't I find it? Oh, bar's better. It's literally this. Oh, you should come up here. Boom, and that's where you continue. That's where you have your continuation, is that you may come back down slightly to retest the 30.80 to 30.50. At worst to test 28.80. That's like worst possible case scenario I could even see. Is that it would kind of be like getting this last rejection here, as you can see. It would kind of be like that last rejection where like you come up, get that like slight rejection, and then come up like that. So I mean, honestly, you have 30.80, 30.57, and then worst case scenario you hit $29, like $28.80, $29. That's like worst case scenario, which would be kind of weird. I'm kind of banking on like a 30.80 to 30.57 bounce. But legit, next candle after that downside is done and 35.19 is broken, like it should literally be a candle to this $50 range, and then boom, you're literally exploding out of that range. Like you're going, once that range is broken, like MOAS move is coming to like hundreds of dollars. But that's kind of like the macro chart that we're looking at on GME. If we go to AMC, I mean, this thing is extremely oversold on multiple time frames. I mean, look at our daily, just extremely oversold. Coming back into our volume support range. Our MACD is curling back to the upside. I mean, even on our weekly chart, it's pretty crazy. You know, if we flipped, I mean, we're so close to flipping this MACD profile on that weekly chart, so that's pretty incredible. I mean, just look at that. If this, I mean, really, this zone should hold at that 30.96, which I think we talked about. But I mean, seriously, your kind of next step here is to use this zone as support and then break out of this range at 650. Your point of control is at 490 on our daily chart. I kind of like using that 4-hour chart a little bit more. So $5 is kind of more our range, that 501. As you can see here, we literally, that candle that got us that huge rejection was at our value area high at 55.53. So that's literally what happened. As you can see, we bounced off that point of control. Boom, got rejected off that value area high. Came back into our volume support range. And next time we break out of that 550 range, it should be, it really should be that last time. Now, and then once that range breaks, that's kind of leading us into MOAS, and I can show some of my previous charts for kind of price targets, but I mean, we're literally just looking at, you know, gap fills, and then kind of previous resistant ranges, like 110 to 130 possibly. But shit could get crazy. So we need to break 553 on the 4-hour, and then on the daily 650 needs to be broken. You can see we get a rejection at this smooth moving average, so that'll be huge as well. Breaking 614, so breaking 614 will be good, and then ultimately breaking 650 to get out of that range. Breaking 650 is kind of breaking like the $50 level for GME. So that kind of would be like the equivalent of breaking 650, or maybe even potentially higher. But that's kind of what we're looking at here. I think at a minimum, you'll definitely return to your weekly value area high sitting at 45.42. I mean, that's like minimum for me. And I think for an even larger break, I would just look for that. I mean, if you're looking for price targets like over $100, I would just look for 45.42 to be broken on that weekly chart. But it actually looks super good. I mean, as you can see, we had that bounce off our value area low, and then our point of control is so low, it's been stair stepping down with us. So that's extremely good if we can recover 434, and then you'll literally just be returning back to your like you're going to return back to that value area high at 45.42. Like, you're going to retest that level. So that's like minimum targets for me. But let's go ahead and look at costs. Costs, I don't know, a little bit weird, but let's see here. Yeah, so the green is your daily 100, and then you have your moving averages 2050 here. But I mean, essentially it just broke out of this triangle. It's like stair stepping its way up on these fair value gaps. So like I could see something like that before a final break. 1132 is going to be your real breaking level before you're going to go up and retest 1888, which is your weekly control. And we can just show that really quick. So yeah, you can see here, actually it's a little bit lower now, 1790. So now on the weekly, 1790 is your point of control. So that'll be your breaking point. 1790 will lead to 2486. 2486 breaking is going to lead you to those really, really crazy price targets. You know, like some kind of extension. Like you could see $200, 337, even higher. But 2486 has to be broken if you want to see above $200. 2486 has to be broken. Let's look at curve finance here. This 99-cent range has been a pain in our you-know-what. This was super, super clean price action because, okay, break value area high, boom, rejection, boom, all the way down to this fair value gap, initial rejection at value area high, and then we're literally just chopping around in this fair value gap, and like for some reason we can't break it. I don't know why. I was kind of expecting a little bit different because I thought that once we had to reclaim the $1 range, like it would be a little bit stronger, but it looks like we're just literally just chopping around. I mean, I could even see maybe even like one more low in. I think like 92 should hold, but like honestly, I would just wait until we see a break of 99 cents again. I don't see us getting another rejection because I think Bitcoin should be showing a little bit more strength here soon enough. And so kind of like I'm looking for kind of the next break of 99 cents. And that'll lead us to a lot higher price action. I'm thinking at least we need to go to the one on Binance. This will show us a little bit better price targets. If you go to that daily chart, I mean, I'm having targets of over $3 minimum. I mean, easily, because once we break out of this range here, I mean, you can see on the weekly, this looks really, really good. I could see us coming back on the weekly to retest maybe 93 cents, like worst case. But I mean, once this range is broken, like you're shooting out of this to test $3 plus. If you come back and use this level of support, like, okay, shit could get really crazy. Like you could seriously see something like that, but it really just depends what kind of price action we see at that like that $3 level. But I mean, I'm pretty confident that like you'll see over 250, $3. Like you will see above that range, and that's kind of the range I've been targeting. Now shit could get really crazy if you start consolidating in that 350 or $3 to kind of 250 range. Like shit could get really crazy at that point. But we'll kind of reassess. But I am targeting that like 250 to $3 range for now, and then we'll think about what happens whenever we come higher. But I think this is a good buy zone. If we come down to like 93, I think it's a good zone to buy. It's honestly been showing a lot of resiliency, you know, against Bitcoin, against Ethereum. So I mean, I think this is a really good project. I think it's a really good coin, and I think there's like a lot of upside from here. So let's look at Tilray, guys. You know how we said that we were gonna buy at the value area low at 114? Okay, well look what happened. Okay, super huge bounce at 114. Okay, so you know it is what it is, guys. You know, we're too good at what we do. Anyways, on the weekly, super interesting. We actually came back to fill this gap, and we filled it perfectly. So I have no problem to continue longing this thing, because honestly my next target is 263. 263 is broken. You know, we like make it a little resistance, but like guys, once this triangle is broken, I mean look at this macro triangle that we're looking at. Like I'm just gonna be real, it's kind of crazy. Let's make it a little bit more accurate. We'll do just extend right line. Okay, I mean, that's a pretty crazy macro triangle. Like that's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Like I have no problem. Taking a risk. I'm not gonna YOLO my entire portfolio into this thing, but like I have no problem entering a position here, and you know once we break upwards of that triangle, I mean 263 and around $4, I mean you're looking at targets of $30 or even higher. So that's a pretty substantial move. I mean I honestly have no problem longing this here. The only concern I have is how long it takes, because like, is this gonna just be a straight moonshot, or is it gonna be a super long drawn out move? I mean, like this move here took 147 days to play out. So kind of the only concern I have is that, are we looking at a short squeeze from the value area low, like super quick move, like, you know, super quick breakout move? Or is this going to take like here like 147 days? Like I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of risky to do options, but you know, something that we could look at doing. You know, looking at MicroStrategies, we've filled this gap here. So I mean, I could even see MicroStrategy coming back down to like 273, reclaiming. I'm still honestly, the only problem is that I see Bitcoin coming up and like reclaiming this as support and then getting a rejection. Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on this one because it's just a dog shit stock. Like it's just shit. Ultimately, like it's gonna come back down to fill that fair value gap. Like I'm more inclined to say like this will be filled before we have any upside. But if we reclaim 308, I'll become bullish again. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this video really quick. Friend just pulled up and is meeting me, so I gotta go real quickly. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to join the Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.